Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. You know, it's funny. People always say, Prof, you've got so many units. But then when people notice that the units start dwindling, they'll say, Prof, I didn't see you open a bunch of crystals. Where'd those 10,000 units go? And I'm like, into revives as my soul slowly left my body because the stench of failure was too much for me to bear. It sounds really dramatic, but it's pretty true. It is pretty true. And I must say that in an effort to be essentially in a position to have a goal, which is to get all the points I can in Winter of Woe and to explore Necropolis, I've just had to say goodbye to a lot of those units. That's been the best thing that I can do for myself, even though it's sometimes been kind of frustrating and maybe even a bit confusing. So I'm going to say that to say, here's the deal. We have right now a hope of the Winter of Woe getting easier. We have a hope that this is going to be an event that we eventually don't have to spend hundreds of units on. And obviously with people, especially Valiant players that have a bigger roster, it's possible for that to be the case. But for people who don't, Kabam might have to do what they did in a number of ways. And by the way, all 13 of my hard-coded keys came back. Yes. That's exciting. I lost 13 rifts, and now I have them all back. I was worried that they wouldn't come back. I kept telling people I lost 13, and they look at me like, it sounds like fake news. You're probably rounding. Like, no, I lost 13. And Kabam got all 13 back. But this point is really what's hugely important. It says, greetings, summoners. As part of our goals to represent impressive challenges with the contest, we sometimes have to adjust and tune those challenges. The robot objective for the new Winter of Woe event is part of this adjustment. We are now allowing summoners to skip this objective and are granting an extra point to those who've completed the Winter of Woe, which for me took about 30 revives for the robot one, and it's something that is a nightmare to even think about. But some people did it in like 2. So go people who are way better at this game than me. I am proud of you, but also have to acknowledge I am not you and will never be you, most likely. With that being said, I just claimed the point, and that point got the 9th milestone. That 9th milestone, 7,500 7-star shards, so we can open a 7-star tonight. 100 6-star generic 6 stones, which is the thing I'm most excited about. A tier 6 basic, a tier 3 alpha, and a 25% tier 6 class catalyst fragment selector, of which I'm going to be very close to form my 3rd cosmic. I'm less than 5,000 away, which means when I get my Valiant daily special, I can start to do something that's very somewhat controversial, because I wanted to upgrade this guy to rank 5 first. I did that. The next champ I wanted to upgrade as a cosmic champion to rank 5 is Angela. There is so much content from incursions to the event quest that Angela thrives in, and people always say, keep Angela at rank 4, she's fine at rank 4. They said the same thing about Corvus. I took Corvus to rank 5, never regretted it for a second. So Angela is going to be my next rank 5 6-star, and I'm going to be able to do that thanks to the 10% tier 6 class catalyst selectors in the Valiant daily specials that have become such a good $5 value, and also, of course, the selectors that come from the Winter of Woe. So Kabam admitting their mistake was huge. They made the content too hard. They didn't punish people who did it, but they rewarded people who, regardless of doing it or not, needed the point. That's the right way to handle it. And I know that my channel oftentimes is labeled as too negative, Mr. Negative. And I get it. I can be quite critical. And I'm not going to apologize for that, because I believe that the criticism is very often valid. But at the same time, I've also got to be willing to praise Kabam when they do something that's pro player, even if it hurts them. Part of the people at Kabam had to look at this solution and think, I don't want to do that. This is supposed to be something that makes us so much money, and I'm sure it still is, but it was not fair, especially for the players that don't have all the champions to rank up or the rank up resources. Part of what makes the Winter of Woe so annoying is that you can have a great champion counter, like let's say Sandman was a fairly okay option for the Winter of Woe fight. But I have a 7-star Sandman. Unawakened, but he's on my roster. I don't like him. I can upgrade him to rank 2 for this event, but am I really going to use him? I don't think so. So all in all, you have to acknowledge if you're Kabam, if you want your player base more than a handful of people to clear this without using too many revives and just getting burnt out and saying forget it, you've got to find that happy middle ground between challenging and ridiculous. And I think they've done that with this example. Kabam did the right thing here. They admitted their mistake. They gave everybody the point regardless of whether or not you completed it. And for that, I say good job, Kabam. You made the community better today with that decision.